Hey guys, Safety Dave here. All right, so I'm going to go over the job hazard analysis. All right, now I want to mention every day prior to your task, you do a daily pre-task plan. So that's a PTP. The difference between the PTP and the JHA is this JHA was created well before we mobilized on site. So what we did was we broke down all of our tasks. As a team or individually, I went through and I imagined every hazard associated with layout, lay down and prep, unit installation, clip installation, parapet cap installation, aerial lift use. I went through each one. I identified hazards, imagined hazards, associated hazards, and then I put in what we would do to protect ourselves and others from these hazards. So the JHA is the foundation for the PTP. And on page 1, I describe it. So on page 1, you'll notice our company name, the site. So this is for Bellevue Plaza. You know, you have your who it's prepared by. You have your site supervisors, Brian and Curtis, and everybody knows Tom Giles, the field superintendent. Your project manager, Steve Black. And then the objective. So the purpose of the JHA is a tool used to focus on job tasks to identify hazards before they occur. It focuses on the relationship between the worker, the task, the tools, and the work environment. So implementation, this is all on page 1. Use this JHA and tasks described herein as a foundation to prepare daily pre-task plans. So currently, your site supervisor is helping and assist to prepare those PTPs, and then you guys are taking those PTPs to the area of your task. So if you're on level 7, starting out setting panels on east elevation, then you guys are taking what your site supervisor gave you, the PTP form for the day or even the week, depending on what they decide to give you. And you're going to go there and you're going to do your daily pre-task plan before you start that task. As a team, you'll sit there and you'll go over it and you'll say, okay, guys, let's look around. What hazards? Okay, we knew these hazards were there. The site supervisor, they're already on this PTP. Are there any additional hazards? All right. So this JHA helps the site supervisors prepare the initial PTPs. So all that information pertaining to each task is located in this JHA, which is located on your site safety bulletin board in your dry shack. So again, use this JHA and tasks described herein to prepare your daily pre-task plan. And the steps to be performed, identified hazards, and control measure for each individual task. Have the crew performing the task complete the pre-task plan, PTP, at the designated work area where their task is to be performed. This will allow the crew to identify any additional hazards not contained within this JHA. Be sure that the PTP form is signed by each team member in the crew and turned into the site superintendent no later than week's end for record-keeping purposes. Keep record of this JHA and PTP on site for the duration of the project. So you'll notice, like on Bellevue Plaza, I'll have a little corner, the dry shack, and I'm going to put up a little file holder. Let me show you. So something like this. Okay. So I'm going to put something like that up, and you guys just go ahead and you can ask the site superintendent, but if they decide to, you'll have a spot to put your PTPs, and then when I get to them, I'll record them. So page 2, you have all the tasks. You have the content of tasks, all the way from task 1, embed checks, to task 9, unit flyout and installation. Okay, so that'll tell you what page to find it. Now I'm not going to go through each task. If you guys get time and you want to read through them, that's fine, but it should be included on your PTP as well. So starting on page 3. All right, we got embed checks. So right there, you'll notice this is embed check. That's task 1. The section below that says PPE required. So this is the basic PPE you need to perform that task. Then you have task description. All right, so that's your next section. And it has about how many workers will be used. And it basically goes through the steps. So in your PTPs, you'll notice you have to put out the steps. So you can use this as an example, but you guys have been doing the steps over and over. And then you'll notice down here, you have your hazards, all right? And then you have your control. So your hazards, for example, you have fall hazards. You notice it says fall hazards, right? And then it says workers could fall to a lower level while working on leading edge or while descending or ascending a ladder, all right? And then it says control. So it says fall hazards. It says workers will perform tasks behind guardrail system as much as feasible. And this is site specific. So we've already taken into consideration, the wire cable guardrails. We've taken into consideration our new horizontal lifeline cable system. We've taken into consideration the areas where our loading platform goes, our overhead anchors. We've provided anchor extenders. So, and all that can be found also in our fall protection work plan. So regarding that. But this is basically our foundation that goes along with our site safety plan and just kind of shows each task and breaks it down what hazards and what protective measures we're going to take. All right. And just kind of going through. Page 5. Here's page 5. Our next task. What do we say? Floor layout. All right. So pretty easy. See, floor layout, PPE required, steps, and then you have your hazards, and then you have your controls. So what we're going to do, you got fall hazards. What else? We got falling object hazards. We got slip, trip, and falls. All right. So it kind of just identifies the hazards, where these hazards are applicable in this task, and then what we're going to do to keep ourselves safe on Bellevue Plaza site. All right. So when you get a chance, kind of look through that. And that's it, really. I mean, that's essentially each task for final completion of installing our curtain wall is in here. You got curtain wall clip installation to embeds. You got, what else? Unloading trucks and trailers. You got receiving units and bunks, bricks, and material to the floor. On the platform, it talks about the loading platform. You got go backs, so removing the bricks and flying them back down to the trucks. You got unpacking curtain wall, so lay down and prep. You got unit prep separate, so you got unpacking and then unit prep. What else? And then of course you got, most importantly, unit fly out and installation. All right, so pretty basic. Like I said, it's our basic foundational documentation that we use to complete our PTP. So you have your site-specific safety plan, your JHA, Fall Pro, ladder program, and other programs. And then from the JHA branches out to PTP, which each individual task completed by each individual team. So remember, if you have any questions regarding that, reach out to your site supervisor, or you can reach out to myself. My number's on the safety bulletin board, or you'll probably see me on site a lot. So thanks, guys.